In this video, I just want to explain very quickly each of the faults to give you an overview of them. If you see a cable alarm, it's obviously very rare to have a problem with the cable. I'm going to show you one way that it can happen. That's wire it takes 10 seconds to trigger after we've removed the wire. So it tells us we have a cable problem, but you notice that everything still works as normal because we've only lost part of the cable. So if you have this alarm, first thing, if you can see level on the unit and your pumps are turning on and off, you don't have to worry. Why have you got it? Possible reason is one of these wires is loose. Maybe you got the red and the pink mixed up, so the pink is not connected in or the grey is not connected in. Check those wires. Possibly with some of the earlier versions of the LIT, we found that noise could trigger this alarm. So if you've checked that the wires are in properly, give us a call and we'll give you another test to do on the FOGRod, or we'll be able to fix up the issue with the LIT that you have. Next, wiring or contact fault. Basically what that means is there's a dry contact below a wet contact. So here we see an example where the 50% contact or the fifth contact on the rod is not wet, but the sixth contact is. And so we get a visual alarm, which takes 5 seconds to activate, wiring or contact fault, and we get a flashing indicator where the problem lies, which are the dry contacts, and we've activated another fault relay. Now, there's a couple of different reasons why you can be having this alarm. One is that the level really is at this point, and either we've got a loose wire or we've got grease on the rod. So they're the two main reasons. Now the other problem could be, and it's more likely to see something like this. Let's say you come to site and you see one wet contact and lots of dry contacts. Well, that's more likely that this wet contact is not correct. So take a look in the wet well. What's the level? Does it match the level that you see on here? If the answer is no, then either some inputs have been damaged by lightning, or you've got possibly the FOGRod resting against a ladder or a chain. And the last one is the clean FOGRod alarm, which only activates when this is in the on position, and that happens by the level changing too quickly, which can't happen normally in a wet well, but it can happen when you drop the rod into the wet well. So you put the rod back in the wet well quickly, the level changes very fast, the LIT says, hey, that's a problem. It does that deliberately to prevent short cycling from ragging, but it will also create an alarm when you put the rod back into the wet well. If you come to site and you see this alarm, well, the alarm latches. So it may have happened yesterday, it may have been a rag, it may have been somebody putting the rod into the wet well. It's easy to fix, or you just clear it. But obviously you want to know the cause. The cause could have been yesterday, the cause could be right now. If the rod's covered with grease, rags, you want to clean it. If the rod looks clean, it may just have been a temporary rag or somebody doing something in the wet well. So no reason to be alarmed. It's preventing your pumps from short cycling. So leave it in the on position when you leave the wet well. And that explains the faults very briefly. 2 cable alarms, 2 maintenance alarms. This tells you probably grease or wiring. This tells you grease or rags. And these 2 faults activate this cable relay, and these 2 faults activate this wiring or clean relay. Thanks very much for watching.